Hiya. In this exercise, we're going to do a lab that how can we create a load balancer and then set up a virtual machine with them. It's a basic load balancer. So let's just start now. The very first thing we need to do is to create our two virtual machines. Inside a use resource group, we can create a resource group while creating a virtual machine. So let's create a new resource group. We call it load balancer RSG. Click OK and call this one load balancer 1. Any region you can do, let's just do East US. Have the Windows 2016 data center. Select the size, which is okay. Just set username, test, password, test user, and then we have the password. Okay, we got inbound. We'll have to add the port 80 just to make sure. One thing we have to do is we have to add the availability set, this is important for the load balancer machine, so we will have to maybe create one, so we can call it one availability set as well. So we can call it something like load balancer AVAL ST is a weird name. I don't know, I shouldn't have said that, but let's just set anyway. It doesn't. So we have this load balancer available now. Availability set, test user, okay. All good. Got the next disk. I think the rest all of them are same. So let's just review and create. And create another virtual machine. So we go there, go to add virtual machine. We do the same steps again. We created a load balancer RSG. We can call it this one. Sorry, I just woke up like 4:30, so I'm just a bit slow at the moment, so I'll allow it. East US, that's fine. Availability option, we'll set availability set, which we already created here. We want to have Windows 2016 data center. Select the disk, and then you can do test user, and then we have the password 123. Okay, password 123. And we allow it. We also select the port 80 so the machine can talk easily in Azure portal. Got the next disk. The rest is pretty much same because it will default set it whatever it needs. Create. So now we have two virtual machines set up, which is good. There is one thing we have to do is we'll have to set up web services on both of our machines. So let's go to the load balancer first. We'll take the IP address, go to remote, and then go here, test user, hit enter. Machine's going to start. So it has started. While the machine is loading, I wanna do something. I wanna create one of the text file. So note. Sorry, it's a bit slow. Under Notepad. What I want to do is I want to create the HTML file. So we can H1. I can call it. This is a load balancer VM1. Okay, and then I want to save this file. We go save as. Okay, we go to this PC. C. Okay, where is it? Gonna go to all files. I just realized I can't do this section before I actually install the web services. So before I do that, I go add rules and feature. Go to next. Go to web server, add feature, go to next. And it will install the web services. While it does in this machine, I will also initialize the other machine as well. Where are you? Okay, go to virtual machine. Thought we created two machines. Where's the second machine out there? Take that. Remote. Then go here. Okay, we will install the same web services in this machine. Okay. Okay, while it's doing it, let's check where we are with the first one. Okay, it's completed now. We go to close. So we have the web services added. So where we were writing our notes, there. So if you go to save as, go to Windows C in pub. And then root here, and then we can do all file, maybe save our file as an HTML. So you can say default.html. Okay, so if we do that, save our file, probably just copy this for the second machine. Go there, go to my second virtual machine. You're still doing that. Can do the same, but I can call this VM2. Then go save as. Well, it's not gonna do it because it's still installing at the moment. Okay. So okay, it is done. Close that. Go to C. Go to InPub. Go to root. Select all files and save our file. Default .html. Okay. Save our file. Okay, all save. Now let's see if that was going to work. Both of the machines are going to work from the Azure portal. So let's take the first one, type that, should be working, it is working. So what if we do /default .html, will that work? See, this is load balancer, wow, what am I doing? It's so weird. Not, I'm still sleepy. It's load balancer. And even if you take the IP address for this one, and if you paste it here, that will be... wait, what just happened? I'll make sure it works here. Okay, I need to do one thing in that. Go to setting, turn it off. Okay, work fine. I just want to make sure that it should work on the Azure as well. If I take the IP address just now, just to see if it's gonna work. That's working fine. Then why it's not there? Maybe I saved it wrong. Let's say file name. Oh man, I'm bad in spelling. What is going on? See, it's worked now. I'm sorry, it's not load balancer, it's load balancer. Anyway, so we created that. We created two notepad and just to see if it's gonna work from Azure portal. So which worked. So the next step is to create the load balancer. So the next step is, because we're going to create load balancer, the load balancer has its own IP address, which will public IP, which will connect with the our virtual machine. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove or disassociate our virtual machine public IP. So the way you can do that is go to the virtual machine, go to networking, go to the load balancer card, IP configuration, IP config, and you can just disassociate it. It takes a little while before it does that. I'm gonna go back to the second one, go to this one, networking, go here, IP configuration. That's our IPv4 public IP. I'm gonna disassociate it. You would be able to easily see that if it's disassociated. Now if you go to your virtual machine, and if you go here, see public IP is gone. The same one would be with this one. Okay, so now the public IP is gone. What we're gonna do is gonna create a load balancer. Actually, before we do that, we forgot one step. We have to create our public IP, which we then link with the our virtual machine. So if we go here, public IP, can name anything. You can say load balancer public IP. That's a long name, but shouldn't be that long. Okay. So DNS name, free trial, resource group is the one we were using. Is which one? Load balancer and RSG. It's in ES. I'm gonna make it static so it doesn't change again and again. So I'm gonna hit create. So it's gonna create one public IP then. Okay, now it's time to create load balancer. So we go to load balancer. We go to add. Okay, we know resource group, this one. Call it. Okay, it was in US. We want this one to be a basic one. Public IP. We can create inside the load balancer, but we already created one. So here you can see the one we have created. Here, public IP. Okay, and then let's just review and create one. Okay, let's see if it's done. Load balancer is done. So resource. So it's coming up because we disabled the IP address. So here our load balancer is done now. So there's a few things we have to do. Now we have to go to the front-end IP configuration. Here you can see this is already added now, load balancer front-end. We got the public IP, which is fine. Now you have to go back and then add a pool in there, backend pool. Just call it pool maybe A. We have to choose what virtual network do we want it. The one we created, load balancer RSG, this is the one we created. And here we're gonna add our virtual machines. So if we go to add, and how many virtual machines do we want to do the load balancing? So we can add these two machines in that. So it's added now, so click on add. So it's gonna add the load balancer machine in that. So as you can see, we have the backend pool added. Now we have to go to the health prop, and then we'll have to add a health prop. So we can say prop A. This is the one where it checks the virtual machine health with the interval. We will use TCP and port 80 with interval of 5 seconds, every 5 seconds. And after 2 consecutive tries, you'll see if it's working fine or not. So we can just say okay. It will only take a minute and half-ish. Okay, that's done too. Now another thing we have to do is add load balancer rule. So okay, this is still updating. Should be done by now. So now we go to the add, and then we just add the load balancer rule name. So we can just call it load balancer rule 1. It's IP4. It talks about which front IP address, the one we created for load balancer. says come to this AT, and then it'll be fine and forwarded to back and port AT. You use the pool layer 2 virtual machines, the one we created, and then you'll use help pro TCP AT, which we set, and then we can just press OK. Okay, come on. So now we come back to our load balancer. We know we have a public IP address which linked with our 2 machines now, and we have a load balancer. So if we take this IP now, and then if we use this one, because it's linked with 2 machines now, it could show either of them. So I use the IP address plus the default.html. Let's see if it picks up virtual machine 1 or 2. Let's enter that. See, it says this is load balancer VM1, load balancer, whatever, and I picked up VM1. So if also open maybe Internet Explorer, and then where are you here? So if I do the same with this one, let's see what it shows. See, it shows this is load balancer VM2, VM1. So the load balancer is connected with 2 virtual machines, so it could pick up either of them all. So yeah, that's how we set the load balancer.